A lot of my work with International Water Centre is done in the Asia Pacific region, mainly because I find it very satisfying and humbling as well to work in the region. It is looking at the transfer of what we've known here and what we've actually discovered here in Southeast Queensland, the different tools that we've developed here, but applied to actually make it relevant to a different environment. I like working in the Asia Pacific region because it actually poses a lot more challenges than what we have here. I always like to think that in Australia we do get spoiled a bit in terms of having a lot of resources to do monitoring, a lot of resources to do research. In Asia Pacific, if you look at just looking at the health of the rivers there, which is about 80% of the rivers in the Asia Pacific region are really in poor health, there's a lot more challenge. In saying that, there's the cultural aspect which actually engages you a bit more in really doing something. And for me, it's probably making a difference, really making a difference, and scientists making a difference. I think back in 1994, when I got offered this job, it was actually a milestone point for me to make a decision whether I stay with academia or actually work in what, as I called, an applied research, area. It was hard because I really enjoy doing research in the university and doing my own research and doing the traditional science publications. I think what really invigorates me is working with the locals and different expertise, the scientists, but at the same time the community. And basically seeing the testing, how these tools are effective or if what you've learned is of any use. The other thing that I realized just fairly recently I really like doing is refining the knowledge that I've learned here and that I've built here to make it relevant for that particular country and that particular audience. That is a challenge, but at the same time, when you do it well, you get a lot of satisfaction in doing that. I think that drives me. Sharing the information, the experience, the knowledge that I have gained in this position as being Science Director of Healthy Waterways and now with International WaterCentre, and sharing that just not within Australia, but definitely in other parts of the world, especially the Asia Pacific region, really drives me. Looking to the future, I would love to see, and this is probably a very academic type of concept, I would like to see the environment to be seen and valued at the same level we're looking at the economy, so that there is an economic currency that we will put onto the environment. Now that's a concept that I'd like to see more in the future. People talk about it, but the processes of doing that is still a bit, research oriented. So I use this as an example. When we had a global financial crisis, the banks were able to react to that. In some countries, that hasn't happened yet. They knew global financial crisis was going to happen, but they predicted that to happen. And they did a lot of financial, management activities to make sure that doesn't hit that country very much, like we did in Australia. In contrast, when you look at rivers and the environment, we know the environments and the rivers are deteriorating, especially in Asia and Pacific region. They're deteriorating. We know, we can see it in our eyes. And in some cases, we don't do anything about it. And I'd say the royal we, because it's a government, the community as well. So why can't we do that? Because we don't put a value in them in the same way we do value the economy. And that's my dream, to be able to put that in that context.